Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? It's proclaimed the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to this week's Prospect Check on the Spread. I'm your host, Jim Sella, in studio with Jay Dash and Big Easy. We got the Yankees outfielder Aaron Judge and Reds starting pitcher John Lamb for you. Now, Judge is in the top 40 on MLB.com the last time I looked, but I don't think Lamb was even in the top 100. Am I correct on that still?
You are correct on that. Let's start with Aaron Judge here. Like you said, he's in the top 40 on MLB.com. He's ranked number 32. In Baseball America, has him ranked number 53. Now, this is a college bat. He was drafted 32nd overall in 2013 by the Yankees. He is 23.
Huge.
Yeah, he's 23 years old right now. 6'7", 275 pounds. This looks more like a basketball player. They say he looks like Blake Griffin.
It's like adding 5 inches to Easy over here and maybe making him lose 10 pounds.
Yeah.
How does a guy this big play baseball? That's crazy.
It is crazy, and you don't see many guys other than starting pitchers that are this tall and are successful in the major leagues, and that is a question whether he can produce at the plate in the big leagues, and we'll have to see. But obviously with that frame, he has huge raw power. He has 31 home runs in 803 minor league at-bats. He has 14 and 336 at-bats this season between AA and AAA. Now, he has a line drive swing right now, 43 doubles and 7 triples over 2 seasons. We're going to have to see if he keeps that line drive swing as he hits the majors or becomes more of a strict power hitter. But he has good plate discipline for his size too. 126 walks in 217 games, 89 and 131 in 2014 between A full and A advanced. And he has 37 and 86 games this season between AA and AAA. But when he was moved up to AAA, his walk rate actually went up. He walked 19 times in 23 games at AAA already. Now, he does strike out too much. He had 131 strikeouts in 2014 in just 467 at-bats, and he already has 89 Ks in 336 at-bats this season. But look, in the minor leagues, at least in A full and A advanced, he hit over 300. And he had a .419 on-base percentage in 2014 between those two levels. In 2015, in the higher levels between AA and AAA, he's still hitting for a .283 average. In fact, .284 in AA, and it went down a little bit in AAA to .279. Now, his on-base percentage did go down somewhat. It's at .353 right now, but .363 in AAA, so it's still very nice. But we'll have to see if he can hit in the big leagues, because really a guy this tall, he's going to strike out a ton. And I mean, even guys that aren't tall, you see that kill it in the minor leagues. Even Chris Bryant right now, he was able to hit well over 300 in the minor leagues, obviously, with that power. But he also K'd a ton. And you see in the big leagues, he's struggling a little bit. His average is well down below 300 right now. And that's something judges might have to deal with as well. I don't see him succeeding in the big leagues right away. I think with that strikeout rate, although his walk rate is up, usually when you hit the big leagues right away, your walk rate isn't there immediately. Although Chris Bryant and Miguel Sano have both showed the walk rate immediately. So it is possible, but we'll have to see. I'm not quite so sure he's going to be able to put these type of numbers in the big leagues.
What do you think with his size? He's going to stick in the outfield, and can he hit 300 in the majors? Because he's hitting, 298, I think, for his career in the minors?
Yeah, 298 with a 393 on base. I mean, it's going to be really tough for him with that strikeout.
He projects more of a first baseman, it looks like to me. I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll answer the defense first then. He has adequate defense in right field, at least, but he has a very, very strong arm that's going to play very well in right field. And actually, the Yankees could use a right fielder while they have to share at first base. He does look more like a first baseman, but his best attribute on the defensive side is that arm. So really, you're taking his...
Yeah, you don't want to hide it.
Yeah, you don't want to hide that arm. So you got to give him a real chance to stick in right field before you even think about moving him to first base.
Well, every Pirate fan wants to move everybody to first base. So
it seems like
you know how that goes.
First base has been a black hole for the Bucks, but Aaron Judge, you were asking about if he can hit 300. With that strikeout rate, he already has 220 strikeouts in 803 at-bats in the minor leagues, 89 and 336 at-bats this season. It's going to be really tough to keep up that average. I mean, I could see him being something around a 270 hitter at best, maybe 280, but up over 300 when you're 6'7" and you strike out a lot. And plus, if he becomes more of a strict power hitter, because he has more power in him, but right now he uses that line drive swing. If he turns into a true power hitter, you might see his average drop very low while he puts up RBIs and scores some runs and has a decent on-base percentage. But the Yankees, they're 56-42 this season, first place in the AL East, 7 games ahead of Toronto and Baltimore. Now, their outfield, they got Brett Gardner in left field. He's a very good left fielder. Jacoby Ellsbury's a very good center fielder. But then you got Beltran, Garrett Jones, and Chris Young to play in right field. Now, Beltran used to be a great player. And really, Aaron Judge is the Yankees' top hitting prospect. He's actually their number 2 prospect behind Luis Severino, the starting pitcher, who may get called up very soon, actually. But Judge, I mean, if they don't call him up anytime soon, it should be by the time rosters expand, you'll see this guy, and he'll get some playing time and just get used to Major League pitching, because really they don't have a big-time outfielder right now that they can trust in right field. But they could also do something before the deadline. And then even when rosters do expand, you'll probably see Judge come up and sit on the bench after the minor league season is over and whatnot.
You know who the tallest player in MLB history was?
Who?
Manute Bol.
John Rauch. He was a relief pitcher, 6'11".
Yeah. Can you find hitter? That's a little different.
Yeah, I've been trying to find that.
Wainwright's something like 6'7". I believe Tyler Glasnow's 6'8". Big dude. But the potential for Aaron Judge, I'd have to believe he's going to be at best a 270 to 280 hitter, depending on if he keeps that line drive swing or not. If he's still growing into more power, and if he becomes more of just a home run type hitter, his average will probably drop a lot lower than that, maybe something around 240. And it's really going to be hard for him to keep the Ks down with his size, like I was saying before. His on-base percentage, he has good plate discipline, which gives him an opportunity to have an high on-base percentage. Something around 350 or higher is possible. That is if he's a 270 or 280 hitter, though. If he's down around 240, I wouldn't expect it to be that high. Right now, he figures to be something around a 20 to 25 home run hitter, which is great, especially with that line drive swing. He's going to hit the gaps and hit doubles for you too as well. But like I said, there is the possibility they just want him to be more of a strict power hitter, and he could become a 30 to 35 home run type hitter as well. Now, he won't steal you a lot of bases, but he should be able to score a high number of runs if he can keep that on-base percentage up and show this walk rate he's showed in the minor leagues. And then, like you said, his defense will really have to see. They're going to give him a chance in right field at least with that powerful arm. But if it doesn't work out for him, I mean, it's either first base or DH with him. I mean, there's no other position you can put a guy that's 6'7", unless he has a 95-mile-an-hour fastball in his hands, too.
That's it.
According to Jewish Baseball News, they conducted a search of all non-pitchers. I swear this is legit. Of all non-pitchers who've played Major League Ball since 1901, and Nate Freeman is 6'8". He played for the A's, or might still play for the A's. He was called the Green Giant. He's tied with retired first baseman Tony Parker. Tallest position players.
6'8", that is huge.
Yeah.
But listen, even if the Yankees do decide to make a trade for an outfielder at the deadline, or for anything, for a starter or whatever, they are saying Aaron Judge is not available. He is one of the guys, him and Luis Severino are two of the guys they really do not want to deal, and they want this guy in their system. So he's going to get a shot at some point this season. We'll have to see if you have to wait for rosters to expand or not. But he should be starting in right field for him next season at some point.
I'd like to see it. I want the Pirates to trade for him. Well, what about the next guy on our list? Starting pitcher John Lamb from the Reds. The Reds just dealt their ace, Johnny Cueto. Any chance this guy can step in and become an ace?
Well, this guy was actually dealt for Johnny Cueto in this trade. He came over from Kansas City, and no, he is not on the same level as Cueto, although he was ranked in the top 20 in both Baseball America and MLB.com going into the 2011 season. Right now, he's not ranked in the top 100 in either one. But at one point, this was one of the biggest prospects in baseball. He ended up having Tommy John surgery in 2012, though, so he fell off the table. But he was drafted in the 5th round, 145th overall in 2008 by Kansas City. He just recently turned 25 years old. He's a very nice size for a starter, 6'4", 205 pounds. He's left-handed. Now, this is a guy that broke his elbow in a car accident in his senior year in high school, and that's why he fell to the 5th round. He was actually a first-round talent. And then he, like I said, he became one of the game's top overall prospects, but Tommy John derailed his minor league career. Now, he can still hit 96 with his fastball, but he usually sits around 89 to 93. He has a changeup that used to be his second best pitch, but it hasn't been as good since the Tommy John surgery. Now he uses the cutter more than any of his other secondary pitches, but it sits in the low 80s, and that kind of scares me a little bit. And he also occasionally mixes in a slow curveball, but this pitch really needs more work before he can trust it at the big league level. But really, I mean, like I said, he was a top prospect going into 2011. He pitched okay in 2009 in rookie ball, and then in 2010 he pitched very well, had a 2.38 ERA, 159 Ks, and 147.2 innings. And then he didn't pitch much in 2011, obviously, because he had Tommy John. Didn't pitch much in 2012. So it really doesn't matter from 2012 and beforehand what he really did, because he really wasn't the same pitcher coming out of Tommy John surgery. Like I said, in 2012 he got a few starts and didn't pitch well at all. In 2013 he had a 5.80 ERA between A Advanced and AAA. Now, he didn't have a high strikeout rate, just 86 strikeouts and 108.2 innings that season, although he wasn't walking many people, just 26 walks, so he had great control. But in 2014 is really when he started to turn it around and become a decent pitcher again after Tommy John. So it took, 3 years almost for him to come back from this Tommy John. Still, in 2014, not quite the same pitcher he used to be. A 3.97 ERA, had 131 strikeouts and 138.1 innings, but he also walked 68 people, and he was much more hittable, 137 hits, whereas he was well under 1 per inning previous to the Tommy John surgery. But still, I mean, hitters were hitting just 258 off of him, so he was still pitching okay and had some upside. But this season in 2015 in the Pacific Coast League, nonetheless, so a league that was really...
What makes it a hitters league?
Just the ballparks, and it's easy. Yeah, it's easy to put the ball over the fence. It's easy to hit the gaps. It's just a real hitters league. So playing in Cincinnati, it is nice to see him pitch well in a hitters league, actually. He has a 2.67 ERA this season, 96 Ks and 94.1 innings. His walk rate, he finally got the control issues behind him, just 29 walks, and he is much less hittable this season, 80 hits and 94.1 innings. Opponents hitting just 233 off of him this season, so really 2015 is finally a breakout season for him after the Tommy John surgery, and he's looking like he can be a starter once again. Now, the Reds, they have a lot of young pitching since they dealt Cueto, and they're also probably going to move Mike Leake as well. Homer Bailey's done for the season, so we'll have to see what they do with him in the future. But they have Raisel Iglesias, a Cuban they just recently signed before the season. Anthony DeSclafani is a young prospect they brought over from Miami's system. Robert Stevenson is probably their top pitching prospect. Now, we did a prospect check on him as well, and we said would probably see him this season, and we probably still will, but we also said it would be nice to see him get a little bit more time in the minors to fix a couple more issues, and he might be able to do that now that they brought in 3 more pitchers from this Johnny Cueto trade, including Brandon Finnegan, a guy I really like, who was in the top 100 coming into this season. They brought him over from Kansas City. He did pitch in the big leagues with Kansas City, but he ended up in the bullpen after a while. The Reds are saying he is a starter, though, and they are going to use him as a starter. Then they got that Cody Reed in the deal as well, another lefty they're putting in Double-A to begin with. And then Michael Lorenzen is in their rotation right now. I'm not sure I'm that high on that guy. I don't think he's going to be a top end of the rotation type pitcher anytime soon or anything like that. But they got a bunch of young pitching that they can work with and try to find some guys here. I mean, Robert Stevenson, they need him to be their ace in the end. But a lot of these other guys are going to be good number 2s and number 3s for him as well. And Lamb, I believe his potential is more of the middle of the rotation type pitcher. I think.
When is this dude ever going to get called up? He's been in the minor leagues for 6 years.
Well, listen, man. Like I was saying, he was decent in 2009. In 2010, he was very good, and then he was a top 20 prospect, and then he had Tommy John surgery. So he missed most of 2011 and most of 2012. He came back, and he did not pitch well right away. He really got lit up in 2013, started to figure things out in 2014, and now he's back to dominating in 2015. So it does take a while with that Tommy John surgery, for him at least. I mean, a lot of guys, they come back a lot quicker. Look at Jose Fernandez. He came back, and he's looking like a dominating starter already.
That damn Tommy John keeps doing surgery on everybody.
But really, yeah, he's 25 years old already, and when I looked in our last segment, we did a Pirates segment, and we were talking about their series against Cincinnati coming up. They actually have John Lamb listed as the starter in the first game of that series on ESPN, so take that with a grain of salt. We were talking about beat writers in the Pirates segment. ESPN has the most beat writers, so you never know what you're going to get from them. They're wrong 99% of the time. So I highly doubt Lamb is starting that day, but who knows? He could end up starting. I mean, I did a search for it on the internet. I seen nothing about it, so we'll have to see. But like I said, Robert Stevenson could come up soon, but now that they got Lamb and Finnegan, you could see Stevenson stay down for a little bit longer, and Lamb or Finnegan get a shot here first. And the way Lamb is pitching right now, I see no reason not to give him a shot, although I don't think he's the same pitcher as he used to be because he doesn't have the big-time fastball anymore. His best secondary pitch is no longer his best secondary pitch. His curveball isn't major league ready yet. So we'll have to see. There's a lot of questions about this guy, but I think he could end up being a decent number 3 starter for you in the end.
Only time will tell.
Please believe. But I see Lamb being called up before Aaron Judge. I think they're going to give this guy a shot in the rotation because the Cincinnati Reds are one of the biggest sellers of the deadline. They're going to be trying to get rid of other guys too, as well as Jay Bruce. And like I said, Mike Leake they're going to try to get rid of. I wouldn't even be surprised if Chapman went as well. But the one guy that I don't see going is Todd Frazier. I think they're going to stick with that guy. But they're going to be selling a lot of players, and they're going to have some openings in this rotation. So I see Lamb getting a shot. Maybe he doesn't stick in the rotation all season, but they'll give him some starts at least in the big league level. And then Aaron Judge, it might take until the rosters expand because I see the Yankees being buyers. And we actually did a segment on Justin Upton and Carlos Gomez the other day, and Easy says one of those two are going to the New York Yankees. So Aaron Judge could just be a bench player for him down the playoff stretch and maybe not make the 25-man roster going into the playoffs.
Well, that wraps it up. Fans, if we don't get shut down by ESPN for slander, you can follow us on Twitter at bet_the_spread. You can follow me on Twitter at betjimthewayne. You can check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/betthespread. Go to our website at thespreadnews.simplesite.com. Keep coming to the YouTube channel. Keep clicking subscribe and keep clicking thumbs up.